Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're tackling one of the absolutely most frustrating challenges in the off-grid world, properly sizing a 24-volt work-from-home system. We're not just skimming the surface here, guys. We are building a rigorous foundation based on real, precision solar engineering math. Get ready, because we're going to completely transform how you look at your solar power setup.
Seriously though, is guessing ruining your solar setup? Just picture this for a second. You've spent your hard-earned money, you spent hours setting up your system, and you are right in the middle of a super crucial afternoon video call for work. And suddenly, bam, total darkness. Your system completely shuts down. Why? Well, because so many people assume their work-from-home setup is small, so they just kind of guess the battery size. They buy whatever looks good on the shelf, plug the whole shebang in, and then wonder why it dies before the workday even wraps up.
You see, there's a massive difference between blindly guessing and actually doing the math. If you look around online, you're going to see a ton of really bad advice, where people just throw round numbers at a wall and hope they stick. You know, oh, a laptop is 100 watts, just buy a 100 amp hour battery. No way! That is literally a recipe for a blackout. Instead, today we're using real engineering math. We're going to take a step-by-step approach, measuring reality, counting every single watt, and sizing a system that actually survives your 9 to 5.
Okay, so here is our roadmap for today. 1. The guesswork trap. 2. Calculating true load. 3. The hidden inverter tax. 4. Sizing the right battery. And 5. Hidden risks and safety. Let's get right into it.
Section 1. The guesswork trap. Let's completely dismantle that typical advice you hear from other channels. A lot of folks will blindly tell you to just get a 100 amp hour battery, a 1 kilowatt inverter, and a 200 watt panel. They don't even do the underlying work to see if that actually fits your specific needs. People assume round numbers instead of measuring their actual devices. They completely ignore runtimes, meaning how many hours a day a device is actually flipped on. They skip the inverter's idle draw entirely, basically treating it like it magically runs on zero power. And they completely avoid the actual physical implications of DC current on a 24-volt system. If you fall into these traps, you're basically designing a system to fail right out of the gate.
Section 2. Calculating your true load. Now this is the foundational math where we stop guessing and start counting every single watt our devices actually use. Let's break down a real-world work-from-home load. A typical laptop draws about 60 watts. Over an 8-hour workday, that gives you 480 watt-hours. An external monitor, sitting at 30 watts for 8 hours, that's 240 watt-hours. But here is the narrative twist, the forgotten router. It only draws a tiny 10 watts. But wait, that router runs 24 hours a day. 10 watts times 24 hours is 240 watt-hours. Think about that for a second. That tiny little router uses just as much daily energy as your giant external monitor. Crazy, right? And this builds out our core formula hierarchy. I want to make absolutely sure you understand exactly how we're converting your device power into actual battery capacity. Step 1 is power, measured in watts. That's just what the device needs right this very second. Step 2 is energy, measured in watt-hours. That's the power multiplied by the time you actually use it. And finally, step 3 is battery capacity, measured in amp-hours. We have to walk through these exact steps to get a reliable, rock-solid number.
So when we add up the laptop, the monitor, and that sneaky router, we land at this number, 960 watt-hours. That is your total raw daily energy requirement to keep your work-from-home setup humming along. Now, most people stop right here. They think, awesome, I need a battery that holds 960 watt-hours. But actually, doing that would be a critical mistake.
Section 3. The hidden inverter tax.
Here's the thing. Energy systems are never 100% efficient. To run your laptop charger, you have to convert the DC power from your battery into standard AC power. The device that does this is the inverter. But the inverter charges a tax for this service. This is known as inverter efficiency loss. Power is literally lost as heat during the conversion. A typical good quality inverter is about 90% efficient. That means 10% of your battery's power is entirely wasted, gone. So we've got to take our raw 960 watt-hours and divide it by a 0.9 efficiency factor.
And when we do that math, 960 divided by 0.9, we get 1,067 watt-hours. Presenting this higher number is absolutely vital. This isn't just some theoretical exercise. This is the real-world energy your battery must actually supply just to survive the workday. It's almost 100 watt-hours more than we originally thought.
Section 4. Sizing the right battery. All right, so now we have our true energy requirement. We need to translate our new energy total into the physical battery size required for our 24-volt system. To find the capacity, we take our total real-world energy, which is 1,067 watt-hours, and we divide it by our system voltage, which is 24 volts. 1,067 divided by 24 gives us 44.5 amp-hours. That is our absolute minimum raw requirement of amp-hours. If your battery magically let you use every single drop of its power without breaking, this is exactly what you would need.
But here is reality catching up with us again. You cannot use 100% of a battery without damaging it. Actually, scratch that. You can, but you'll completely ruin the battery. This limit is called depth of discharge, or DOD. So the absolute crucial point here is choosing your chemistry and understanding its limits. If you buy a modern lithium iron phosphate battery, or LiFePO4, you can safely use about 80% of its capacity before it needs a recharge. But if you're rocking a traditional lead-acid battery, you should only safely discharge it to 50% of its capacity. Go further than that, and you permanently damage the battery's lifespan.
And this brilliantly illustrates how battery chemistry dramatically changes the final required size. Dividing our raw 44.5 amp-hour requirement by these safety limits changes everything. For lithium, we divide 44.5 by 0.8, which means you need a minimum battery size of about 56 amp-hours. So practically speaking, a 24-volt, 60 amp-hour battery is your absolute floor. But for lead-acid, you have to divide 44.5 by 0.5. That means you need almost 89 amp-hours, meaning you must buy at least a 24-volt, 100 amp-hour battery just to run this supposedly small system safely.
Section 5. Hidden Risks and Safety.
Now listen closely, because perfect mathematical sizing is completely useless if you ignore the physical realities that could literally burn your system down. We already calculated the inverter efficiency tax, but there's also the hidden inverter idle draw. Just having the inverter turned on consumes power, which can add hundreds of watt-hours a day completely unnoticed. Then you've got laptop chargers pulling massive temporary spikes well above their rated watts when they first plug in. And let's talk about wires for a second. Undersized cables at 24 volts will act exactly like heating elements. They can easily melt their own insulation. Loose terminals will spark and overheat. And if you shove this whole system into a tight, unventilated closet in your workspace, that poor ventilation will trap all that heat and slowly destroy both your inverter and your wildly expensive battery. Safety is just as important as the math, folks. It all really boils down to this. If you skip the math, your system will fail. But if you size it correctly, it runs silently, reliably, every single day. It's all about choosing measured reality over guesswork. As you've seen, even a setup that seems tiny is actually quite demanding when you calculate it properly. So, I'm going to leave you with this lingering question to chew on. Did your system account for your router running 24/7? That single, tiny, forgotten device can be up to 25% of your daily energy use. Have you really looked closely at your own setup? Rethink your loads, do the precision math we talked about today, and get your battery sized right. Thank you so much for joining me to figure this all out, and hey, keep your eyes peeled for our next explainer where we're going to use this exact same engineering approach to perfectly size the solar panels you'd need to recharge this very system. See you then.